Okay. So let's move on. So I was explaining this find element always returns a web element interface. So this is the syntax. Web element sign in link equal to driver dot find element by dot link text. See here locator is a link text locator and the link name is sign in. So one more web element search button equal to driver dot find element by dot class name new search button. See, this is the class is the so value that value is new search button. This is the locator name static method of this class. So that you are passing to find element. So that's the single element. If you want to identify what is the method you need to use, find element method. Bracket by dot locator value. If you know method structures, this is all going to be very, very easy. Okay. Next, I want to identify a group of elements, child elements inside the parent or a list of elements. So then the method is find elements method you can use. So find elements. See, can you observe here how meaningful this is? Find element will identify the first web element. Find elements will identify the all web elements which are same locator is there. How many elements are having same locator? All those elements are identified by find elements, singular and plural. Just yes is adding to this method, that's it. If you, how many of you know singularity and plurality? And this is the web. Very easy to remember also. Even get window handle and get window handles also similar. Here, find elements return type is a list web element always. This is not going to change because this method is already developed by Selenium guys. So you cannot change this method return type. This method always returns list web element. This returns a list collection. Find elements method returns what type of collection? List collection. So list collection, list web element, collection name equal to driver means browser dot find elements method by dot locator value. So this find elements method return type is a list web element. Get window handles return type is a, what is the return type of get window handles?
Set strings.
Set string.
Set string.
Find elements method return type list web element. So that's the difference. Where you are using collections in Selenium means these are the places you can tell that. Collections topic we are using here. Next. So how can you fetch child elements from particular parent element or a particular section elements? So first step is you identify the parent element first. So you identify the parent element first. Web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. I am identifying my parent element. Now parent element inside, we can get all the child elements. So how can you fetch that? Second step, follow the second step. So first step is mandatory. Second step, based on the first step only. Fetch all the child elements from the parent element. So list web element collection name equal to parent element. That's see, this element name is coming, not driver. Please observe here. Here I am using a element, parent element dot find elements. Find elements you can use on the browser itself, or you can use on the parent element here, on the parent element also. By dot locator value. So this is the how you can use the find elements can be used on the driver. Find elements can be used on the web element also. When you use the find elements method on the browser, that means entire page it is going to fetch. When you use on the element, that means this element inside all elements which are having this locator, which will fetch and stores in this list collection. Please understand these concepts are crucial. How in depth you understand, and your automation will be nicely designed wherever you go. If you don't understand that, it will be again common. So if you have, we're going to get a lot of scenarios on these two lines. You think drop down, you can apply this scenario. You want to fetch all the drop down options. This is the scenario you need to apply. Or you want to fetch particular section footer links. Then this is the code you have to use. Two lines of a group of elements you want to fetch. And this is the lines of code you can write. Any parent element inside child elements if you want to fetch. And this is the best two lines of code. Okay. That's all about how to identify the single element, a group of elements. Any questions? Before going for the next topic, that is how to identify the elements using locators, Webdriver locators. That's the next topic. Any questions on the previous topic?
No, sir.
Okay. So next topic is Webdriver locators. So what are all Webdriver locators? What are all Webdriver locators? So we all know ID of ID value, name of name value, class name of class value, XPath of XPath value, CSS selector of CSS value, tag name of tag, link text of link name, partial link text of partial link name. So these are the locators of Webdriver. All these are static methods in by class. Okay. So now how can you identify any element? So this is the syntax. Web element, element name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. I introduced this syntax in the object identification time itself. Same syntax I have written, right? Now you replace with your locator. Here is the generic syntax I have given. Now you replace, for example, I want to identify an element by ID. So this is the syntax. Web element, element name equal to driver dot find element by dot ID. See locator place, I am putting ID. ID locator and ID value. So this is an example. ID login email. So you want to identify an element by name. You can identify an element by name with a single element also. Or there are name can be same for multiple elements. So let's see for single element how to identify by name. Web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot name value. So how can you identify? So with this is an example. So driver.findElement by .name session password. This session password element name is password edit box. So how can you fetch all elements? So using name locator. So there is a parent element. So list web element collection name equal to parent element dot find elements by dot name value. What is meaning of this? In this parent element inside, many elements are having same name value. Many elements are having same name attribute. Now, this find elements method, what it will do? How many elements are there with this name value? All those elements will fetch and stores in this list collection one by one in the order. So list is a ordered collection, right? So it will store in the ordered way, one after the other. That's the list collection. This find elements method always returns a list collection. Or you want to find all the elements which are having same name value in the entire browser, not in the particular element, in the entire browser. Entire browser means what is the reference we have to use? Driver. Please remember the reference is changing here. Here reference is a parent element. Here reference is a browser reference. In the entire browser, you are fetching all the elements based on the name value that will store in the list collection. So this is the values. Same for a class also. You can identify a single element with the class. Web element name equal to driver.findElement by class name, class value. Or you can identify a group of elements in the parent element. List web element collection name equal to parent element dot find elements by class name, class value. That means in this parent element, all the child elements having same class value. Now such all elements will be fetched into this list collection. All these parent elements inside child elements are having same class value. Each child element, all of them, so will be stored here in this list collection. Or in the entire browser, the driver means entire browser. It will fetch all of them and stores in this list collection. See the whole lot of difference here and here. Okay. Same for XPath. You can identify a single element with XPath. Web element name equal to driver.findElement by XPath value. You can identify multiple elements also from parent element. So list web element collection name equal to parent element dot find elements by XPath common XPath value for all the child elements. Or you want to fetch all the elements in the entire browser, list web element collection name equal to driver.findElements by XPath value. So by CSS selector. So web element name equal to driver.findElement by CSS selector. You're identifying a single element with the CSS. So you're identifying a collection of elements with the parent element inside all of them, and same way browser also. So same for a CSS selector also. Now here, see, here I'm applying find elements syntax I have shown you, right? That. So these are real scenarios I'm applying here. First one, how to identify a single element with a tag name. Web element name equal to driver.findElement by tag name tag. So fetch all the child elements from the parent element. List web element collection name equal to parent element dot find elements by tag name tag. Or you want to fetch all the elements from the entire page. So list web element collection name equal to driver.findElements by tag name tag. So now these scenarios I'm applying here for the web pages. How can you fetch all the links in the web page? So what is the syntax? This is a fixed line of code. List web element collection name equal to driver.findElements by tag name a. This is the fixed code. Wherever you want to fetch all the links in the web page, this is the static line of code. You don't need to touch even single letter also in this. So if you want, this is your scenario, write this line of code. Automatically it will fetch all the links into this list collection. Then you want to fetch number of links. How many are there? Just call the size method from this list. So this is the one scenario. Next, second scenario. How can you fetch particular section links? Maybe particular section, only that section links. In the web page, so many links will be there. You don't want all of them. You want only particular group related links only. Then, so as I mentioned in the previous findElements method, particular section links how to fetch. First, identify the parent section. Web element section name equal to driver.findElement by.locator, locator value. So first identify the parent element. Then fetch all the links in this parent element. So list web element section links equal to the parent element dot find elements by dot tag name A. So links are going to have A tag. So how many A tags are there in this parent element? All the A tags will fetch and stores in this list collection. So this code doesn't change for the links. This code also. Next, how can you fetch particular drop-down options? So same code apply, this code only applies here, but drop-down. So web element drop-down name equal to driver.findElement by.locator, locator value. See, what is the locator for your drop-down identification? So use that locator. Then from this drop-down, you fetch all the drop-down options. So this is the code. Fetch all the options using findElements API and tag name option tag and store in a list type collection. Read this statement. That statement has a lot of meaning. So list web element collection name equal to the drop down name dot find elements by dot tag name option. You should not touch this. This is the static code to fetch all the drop down options. Only your drop down name, what name you have given here, that name it will fetch here. You just replace. Otherwise, this 2 lines of code and only changes here. What is the locator for your drop down? First, identify the drop down element. Then drop down inside options you are fetching, storing here. Then you want to select one option, you iterate using for each loop. That I will cover later. But these are bits of pieces of code I am giving. So that later I'm going to add more lines of code for this. First, you should know this code, these basics. Then when scenario comes, how to handle drop down means first these lines of code you have to write, then rest of the code. Okay. So I'm going to stop here. This one more or 2 more things. How to identify only link. So this is the code. Web element name equal to driver.findElement by dot link text. Exact link name you have to give. So how to identify an element with a partial link text? Web element name equal to driver.findElement by dot partial link text is the method name and give partial link name. See here, forget password, right? You have to give exact name, but I can give here only forget with this partial link text locator. But if you use a link text, you are not allowed to give only forget. You have to give complete link name. Okay. So this is the how to identify elements with the different locators. I already covered this. Identifying different elements. I have covered this. Again, I am covering one more time today. Okay. So that's it for the day. Please read and come back. Tomorrow I'm going to ask each and every person. Tomorrow no class. Only you have to explain from browser methods to till here. Everybody has to explain. That's the only class tomorrow. Somebody will scare and they won't attend. I know. So who are not going